The 2017 Buick Encore. Believe it or not, this subcompact crossover is Buick's best-selling model, and this is one of the reasons why the Buick Verano sedan is being discontinued. I'm Jay, and welcome to CarBuzz Unboxing Reviews. And before I go any further, I want to thank Woodland Motors for letting us come on down and film for you today. So the Buick Encore, just to give you a brief history of this subcompact crossover, it first came to market back in 2013, but for 2017 it has been given its midlife refresh. So there's a few changes from the interior, as you can see here. I'll go into more details about the interior design and layout in a few more minutes, and as well as the exterior. And as you're about to see, the exterior design is much improved. Now remember, it's still the same basic platform. It's a front-wheel drive based platform, and it is actually the Chevrolet Trax's corporate twin. So basically, if you want to spend more money for that Buick badge and have a little bit more of a premium subcompact crossover, then the Encore is for you. But if you don't care about that, there's also the Chevrolet Trax. I also did an unboxing review of that as well. I encourage you to check that out if you want to do a little more in-depth comparisons. But as you can see with the Encore here, it is definitely premium. Now, I would not necessarily call this luxury. If you want to go luxury, you're going to go into the BMW X1 range, the Audi Q3. I did unboxing reviews of both of those as well. And despite this Encore having somewhat of a similar price tag, I don't think this is luxury. It is without question premium. Now this interior, this is actually almost the base model. You have the 1SV Preferred, Sport Touring, Preferred 2, Essence, and Premium, and this is the Preferred. So it's just one step up from the base model. But this interior, it's called Ebony, which is this dark black color. This is not leather, so that you know. It's an upscale cloth with leatherette accents. And I still think it's definitely quite nice. And without question, yes, this is a premium cloth material. So if you don't want leather seats, and I know a lot of people don't, you have to pay more for it. And I think this is a very good alternative here. And I've seen a lot of cloth seats before, and these are, without question, some of the most comfortable ones I have seen. And this is, like I said, a subcompact crossover. So the rear seat, it's going to be kind of tight. You can easily get two adults back here fairly comfortably. Going for three is, without question, a mistake. I really would not do that. Three children could probably sit back there for not a long period of time, but for a little while. Now, one of the things I really like about the Encore is the driver's seat position. It's really well done. You have this nice view out the windshield, like you're really in command of the vehicle. And as you can see here, the dashboard, what they kind of call this wraparound dash, that's actually how Buick describes it, has also been redesigned for 2017, and I think it is very much an improvement as well. Now the steering wheel here, this is actually a leather-wrapped steering wheel, so it's not that leatherette material like that you see on the seat trim here. Okay, so what is this? This is the high-resolution LED 8-inch color screen. And I really like this infotainment system here. Now, this is just the standard infotainment system. In higher trim models, you can get this system, which will also include navigation. But this is the base system, and even if you go for the upgraded one, it's still 8 inches. So no big deal. Other features you get in the interior is a 6-speaker audio system, a 6-way power driver's seat with a manual recline. The front passenger seat is actually manually adjusted. And then there's also a 4.2-inch driver information screen. And the overall infotainment system here, I think it worked just fine. I don't think this is the best infotainment system out there, but it is definitely better than something I saw, for an example, in a Toyota Corolla with the Entune system. I was really not too impressed with that, but this is a Buick's IntelliLink system, and just like I saw on current Chevrolet products like the new Malibu. The colors here are just fantastic. Now, this is the only transmission that you can get in the Encore. I'll talk more about it in a couple minutes as well. It's a 6-speed automatic. You also have a couple of USB ports. Those are going to be in the center console as well. And speaking of which, connectivity, what do you get standard? Siri eyes free 4G LTE Wi-Fi, Bluetooth streaming, as well as Apple CarPlay and Android Auto capability. That's standard even in this somewhat base model here. And I think that's really good because, for an example, in an $80,000 Porsche Cayenne, Porsche is charging customers $300 for Apple CarPlay. Whereas here, it's standard. Now, you also have a subscription service to OnStar. I believe it comes standard when you first get the Encore, but you have to sign up for the subscription for more long-term membership. All right, so let's talk about some safety here. Now, this is good, because this is very much a family crossover. It has a 5-star overall U.S. government crash test rating and a total of 10 airbags standard, including a driver and front passenger, frontal knee and side impact, and head curtain airbags for front and rear passengers as well. And you also get Buick's StabiliTrak stability control with traction control, 4-wheel ABS disc brakes, tire pressure monitoring system, and a rear vision camera. Here's that little 4.2-inch driver information screen there. It gives you all your the basic information about the vehicle status. It's an overall okay system, but again, you can see that that's kind of 2013, 2014 technology. You're starting to see the gauge cluster systems there being a complete LED screen, very much like the one on the center of the dash. So how does the Buick Encore drive? Well, because this one has the base engine, like I said, I'll get to that very shortly. It's just okay. Acceleration, again, I'll get to that momentarily as well, is only so-so. I think the downshifts in this thing are just, they're snail slow. Fortunately, Buick has added something called its quiet tuning technology and active noise cancellation to really drum out any sort of road noise, and I think that's one of the things I noticed a little bit more so comparing the Encore here to its corporate cousin, the Chevrolet Trax. This Encore was definitely quieter on the road, so if that matters to you, bear that in mind. Take a look at the rear seats here. Yeah, there is actually a nice amount of leg and headroom here. A couple of full-size adults will easily be comfortable in the rear seats. Like I said earlier, 3 passengers, at least 3 adults, is not a smart idea. Let's take a look at the cargo space. Now, remember, subcompact crossover, so it's not going to be huge, but you do get a pretty impressive standard 19 cubic feet. It goes up to 48 cubic feet when the rear seats, which are 60-40 split-folding rear split, are folded flat. But I think the amount of space you get here, the 19 cubic feet, is more than enough for going to the grocery store, just doing some basic errands. And because it's a subcompact, you see how the second row seats have to kind of fold flat with the seat cushion being moved first. Again, it's just not a very big vehicle. And where the Encore falls in the Buick crossover lineup, this is Buick's smallest crossover. You have, like I said, the Encore, then you have the Envision, and then you have the large 3-row passenger one as well. So yeah, 48 cubic feet, rear seats folded flat. Not bad, but not outstanding. Alright, so what do we got under the hood here? Alright, so this is the standard engine. Turbocharged 1.4 liter 4-cylinder with 138 horsepower and 148 pound-feet of torque. Power goes to the front wheels through a 6-speed automatic transmission. Now, you can get all-wheel drive. That's going to cost you an extra $2,875. Now, all-wheel drive, a lot of people think they need it, but I'm here to tell you Not necessarily. You really only need all-wheel drive if you live in a part of the country where you experience harsh winters, a lot of snow, ice, etc. Then all-wheel drive with its extra grip will be very helpful. But otherwise, say if you live down south, I think front-wheel drive will be just fine. Let's give this engine a listen here. Okay, the base engine, the 1.4 liter 4-cylinder, 0 to 60 miles per hour in 9.3 seconds. Top speed is only about 123 miles per hour. Now, if you go for the optional engine, that 0 to 60 time drops to 7.8 seconds. But this engine still has decent fuel economy of 25 miles per gallon in the city, 33 on the highway, and a combined 28. The vehicle weighs just over 3,200 pounds. So let's talk about that optional engine. You get, beginning with the Sport Touring trim, which is one trim level up from this preferred one you see here. You can get the new and more powerful turbocharged 1.4 liter 4-cylinder. Again, it's also turbo 1.4, but this time it's 153 horsepower and 177 pound-feet of torque. It's also paired to a 6-speed automatic. Fortunately, it only costs an extra $895, again, with the next trim level up. And I think it's totally worth the extra about $900 for it. Again, 0 to 60 in 9.3 seconds is really, really slow. And dropping to 7.8 seconds, you're really going to feel it. It's going to make the Encore a much more peppy, fun to drive crossover. So the exterior styling here. Like I said, for 2017, it was given an update, and I think it's much, much better looking. Look at that front end. It features Buick's latest version of what they call its waterfall style grille, with that bit of chrome line going right through the center of it. Much, much better. Now, this one is painted, the exterior is Summit White. This is the only exterior color that doesn't cost anything extra, but you do get standard 18-inch machined aluminum wheels, roof rack side rails, and LED daytime running lights. Now, the taillights have also been restyled as well, and I just think the 2017 Encore, compared to the 2013 through the 2016 models, it looks much more mature. I think the original Encore looked a little bit too much like a toy micro machine in a way, but that front end that you see here, it just makes it look more premium, and that was the point. So, let's talk the competition. Well, like I mentioned, this car's corporate cousin, the Chevrolet Trax. You also have the Mazda CX-3, Nissan Juke, Kia Soul, Jeep Renegade, Fiat 500X, and the Honda HR-V. These are all subcompact car-based crossovers here. So it is literally a small sedan with an SUV-like body, jacked up a few inches for increased ride height. That is essentially the blueprint for any crossover today. This is not an off-road vehicle, even if you get the all-wheel drive. So let's talk pricing here. Now, a base Encore begins at $23,915, which is pretty good. Now, the preferred trim that you see here begins at $24,365, and with the $925 destination fee, all in, this vehicle right here is $25,290, which I think is very reasonable, but I would definitely move up one trim level to the Sport Touring trim just to get the more powerful new 1.4 liter turbo engine. It really makes a difference. But just so that you know, a fully loaded Encore will cost you over $35,000, which begs the question, why is Buick charging so much money for a subcompact crossover whose corporate cousin is the Chevrolet Trax? This is not all-out luxury. All-out luxury is going to be the likes of the BMW X1, Audi Q3, as I mentioned earlier. This is premium. It's premium and luxury, in my opinion, are a little different. All All right, so what do I like here? Well, like I mentioned earlier, from the driver's seat, it's a very nice seating position. You just get this great view of the road. And the interior, I think, in my opinion, it's very well done. It's well executed, especially compared to last year's model. I really like the upgrades. And speaking of upgrades, if you go for that 1.4 turbo engine for an extra about $900, you're going to be very happy with it. Now, what don't I like? Well, this car, it gets expensive pretty quickly, even though, like I keep mentioning, it's not a true luxury crossover. It's a premium crossover. Buick should remember that. Now, the new engine, in my opinion as well, it should be standard for every single trim level. This is not the Chevrolet Trax. This is the Buick Encore. A better engine should come standard. Now, for an example, the engine that's in this vehicle, it was the same engine that powered the previous generation Chevrolet Cruze base model, just to give you an idea. But if you are still looking for a premium crossover with a well-designed interior and a premium-looking exterior, this is good for you. But I'm out of time for today. Thanks for watching, everyone.